Hello dear students, welcome back to the CLE Degree College YouTube classes. So in today's video, I am going to start your continuation part of a BSc 6th semester, that is the chapter or a unit nuclear physics. So in that we will see the explanation of a nuclear fission on the basis of a liquid drop model. So in the last video we studied the liquid drop model as well as this Weizsäcker semi-empirical mass formula. Okay, we derived the mass formula. So here next we'll see the explanation of what a nuclear fission on the basis of a liquid drop model. So before studying the nuclear fission, we must know what is the nuclear fission and what is the nuclear fusion. So nuclear fission is nothing but one heavy nuclei can be split up into two constituent of a particle. Okay, one heavy nuclei is there that can be split up into two constituent of nuclei. So that process we can call this as a nuclear fission, and whatever the energy is required, that is nothing but a binding energy. Okay, next nuclear fission means that two lightly nuclei, okay, in fission process splitting, but in fusion process combination, means that two lightly nuclei can be composed to form a what a heavy nuclei. So such a process we can call this as what a nuclear fusion. So here nuclear fission on the basis of a liquid drop model. Okay, so see here in 1939 Bohr and Wheeler. Okay, in which year? The 1939 the Bohr and the Wheeler gave the what theoretical treatment on the nuclear fission on the basis of a liquid drop model. So in which year? 1939 the Bohr and the Wheeler gave the theoretical water treatment on the basis of water liquid drop model with respect to nuclear fission. So here we'll see the point wise their explanation. So see the first explanation, the nucleus of an atom is considered to be a charged liquid drop. Here what already we know that a nucleus is nothing but a center core of an atom which consists of a proton and a neutron. So here nucleus of an atom. So one atom is there, their nucleus. Okay, one atom nucleus is considered to be a water charged liquid drop. So here, one atom is there, that atom's nucleus we are considered to be a water a charged liquid drop. Okay, here we completed our first point. So here the second point, in an equilibrium state. So second point, in equilibrium state nucleus remains spherical symmetry. Okay, means in equilibrium state our nucleus can be remain as it is. As it is means spherical symmetry. Spherical shape will be there in an equilibrium state. Okay, that's the explanation of the nuclear fission with respect to nuclear model. They given in nuclear model, liquid drop model, given by whom? The Wheeler and the Bohr. Okay, so we completed first as well as the second explanation. We'll move for a third one. So here, the nucleons on the surface develop surface tension. Whatever the nucleons are there in a surface. Okay, consider here one surface is there, here one our nucleus is there. So in nucleus, whatever the nucleons are present, so then that nucleons on the surface that develop water surface tension. Okay, that surface tension effect similar to the liquid drop. Same for water liquid drop. Okay, here we are considering one atom, here one liquid drop. So whatever they want affect or develop a surface tension, same for the water liquid drop. Means whatever the process is there for a surface tension in a liquid drop as well as the one atom, both are water similar. Okay, so that explanation given in a third point. Okay, we completed first, second as well as the third. Next we'll move for the fourth point. So see here, when a heavy nucleus. So here we are considering one heavy nucleus, that is uranium-235. Okay, so that heavy nucleus is excited. Okay, that excited through what? Capture of the thermal neutron. Excited means that can be excitation from lower to higher or higher to lower energy level. So here our uranium-235, that is the heavy nucleus, the excitation will takes place. By the excitation, what happened? Through the what? Capture of the thermal neutron. Okay, they can be captured the thermal neutron. After that, see here, the shape of the nucleus distorts from the spherical shape to the ellipsoidal shape. So here the fission process will takes place. Fission is nothing but what? Uranium or any heavy nucleus can be what? Split up into two light constituent nuclei. So our uranium-235 is nothing but a heavy nucleus that can be goes to the excitation by the capture of the what? Thermal neutron. Okay, after that what happened? They can be split up into from a spherical shape to the ellipsoidal shape. Okay, this is the explanation of our fourth point. We'll move for the next fifth one. See here. The fifth one is nothing but if the excitation energy is high, then a nucleus may attain the dumbbell shape. Okay, whatever the excitation energy means our nucleus, heavy nucleus can be split up into two constituent nuclei. In that, whatever the excitation energy is required, suppose that excitation energy is high, that time what happened means our nucleus may be attained a dumbbell shape. Like that dumbbell shape, our nucleus can be attained. Okay, they explain in a fifth point. So, in a sixth point, so see here, if the energy given is above the threshold energy, then nucleus separation or separates into two nearly equal masses, causing the nuclear fission. So here they given the definition of the nuclear fission means if certain energy is there, so the energy is given above the threshold energy. So threshold energy, they given certain energy above the threshold energy means what happened? It can be cause a nuclear fission. So what is the nuclear fission? Is the nucleus separation into two nearly equal masses. Suppose here one heavy nucleus is there. So that can be equal to two constituent or equal masses. That is nothing but our nuclear fission. Here the same. Our energy is what? It is above the threshold energy means our one heavy nucleus can be split up into two equal masses. So this is the explanation of this point. Next we'll move for the next point. So see here. If the given energy to the nucleus is low. So first they given for the energy below the above the threshold energy means energy is threshold energy is below the whatever they given the energy. So that time fission process will take place. So next what they given, if the energy, whatever the energy is there for the nucleus is low, at that time what happened? Means that time fission does not occur. Okay, fission process will not take place. Why? Means here our energy is what less than the threshold energy. When the fission process will take place, the energy will be greater than the threshold energy. Here the energy is less than the threshold energy. That's why the fission process will not take place. So that time what happened? So see here. In such a cases, excited nucleus emits either a gamma ray or a neutron. That time what happened? The excitation will be takes place, but the nuclei will not split. Not split means that time the emission of radiation will takes place. Either it may be gamma rays or the neutron, and after that returns to the stable state. Okay, so they explain in this will be explanation with respect to low energy from the threshold energy. Fission will not process. Fission process. What happened means there will be emission of gamma and the neutron rays. Okay, we'll move. For the last, they given two merits of the water or the merits of the liquid drop model. So here, succeeded in explaining nuclear reaction and nuclear fission. So successfully explained the two reaction, nuclear as well as the nuclear fission reaction. And second one is succeeded in the accurate calculation of the atomic masses and the binding energy. Here whatever the calculation is there with respect to atomic masses and the binding energy, the accuracy will be takes place. Okay, so this is the explanation of the nuclear fission on the basis of a liquid drop model. Okay, one by one already we explained. First one is it is a charged liquid drop. Second, in equilibrium state remains spherical symmetric. Third, whatever the effect is there of a surface tension with respect to nucleons, that will be a water same as a liquid drop. And next, see here, in what happened? Fission process. Heavy nuclei can be split up into two lightly nuclei. Uranium-235 can be given for the ellipsoidal shape from the water with shape of spherical shape. And last one is same. Excitation energy is high, then nuclei will be dumbbell shape. And next, threshold energy. So whatever the energy, given energy is above the threshold energy means nuclear fission will be happened or nuclear fission process will takes place. If suppose the energy is less, then nuclear fission will not take place. What happened that time? Emission of radiation will take place in terms of a gamma as well as the neutron and again return to the stable state and the given their merits. Okay, we'll move to the next, that is our shell model. Okay, so here according to this model, two protons, so here in that two protons with opposite spin. Here two protons are there, their spin is what? Opposite. And next two neutrons with again opposite spin. Two proton with opposite spin, two neutron with opposite spin are what? Accommodated in a shell. That can be accommodated in a shell. So that can be what? Such a system is more lightly bonded than other. So that system of more tightly bonded than other shell. So we can call such a system as a shell model. So here two proton with what? Opposite spin. Okay, plus what happened to our neutron? Again same opposite spin. So these bond, so these bond can be what? More tightly bonding to the other shell. So such a shell we can call this as a shell model. Okay, before seeing the assumption of the shell model, we'll see the magic numbers. Okay, see, magic numbers is nothing, so the given point wise. In the 1917, Hawkins find that the nuclei with the even number of protons or neutrons are more stable than those which have odd numbers. So already we know that a neutron and proton which have even number means more stable. If odd number means less stable. So the explanation given by Hawkins in 1917, what he explained, our proton and a neutron, if suppose they are even number means they are more stable as compared to the what? Odd number of a proton and a neutron. Okay. Next, in 1934, Alhazen observed that the nuclei with a proton or a neutron number 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126 are extraordinarily stable. Okay. Who found? So here, in 1934, Alhazen observed that our nuclei with a proton or neutron, the number given 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126 are what? Extraordinarily stable than the other. So these numbers are called magic numbers. Already we know that that is 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126 are magic numbers. Why they are magic number? Because they are extraordinarily stable of the nuclei. Okay, that was explained by Elazar in 1934. Okay, next here, if both protons number and neutrons number are magic numbers, then the nucleus is called doubly magic. Both proton and a neutron are magic means they can call that a doubly magic nuclei. Okay, and the last is the proton and neutron number 14, 28, 40. Okay, they given 3 numbers of the proton and neutrons that can be show the less stability than that of the magic nuclei. So we can call this as a semi-magic nuclei. Okay, they given the magic numbers. So see here, already shell model, 2 proton with the opposite spin and 2 neutron with the opposite spin can be what a composite of a one stable or a more tightly bond and then the other shell. We can call this as a shell model. And next, magic numbers. Magic numbers means in 1917 Hawkins found. What he found means even number of proton and a neutron are more stable as compared to the odd number. Next, 1934 Elazar. What they given? The 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126 extraordinary stable. Okay, then the other nuclei. So such a number we can call this as a magic number or the magic nuclei. Next, doubly magic means proton and neutron both are magic number means we can call this as a both proton and a neutron numbers are magic numbers, then the nucleons are called doubly magic. And the last one is what? 14, 28, 40. These number are called semi-magic nuclei. Okay, so this is the magic numbers. So last part of today's video we will see some assumption of the shell model. Okay, so here we will see shell model. So again it is an independent particle model. So for shell model we can call this as an independent particle model. So here, according to this model, protons and neutrons are a group in shell. Okay, according to the which model? Shell model, not the liquid drop. So according to the shell model, our proton and a neutron are grouped in a shell. So already we know that 2 proton with opposite spin, 2 neutron with opposite spin, tightly bond will occur. So that is called this as a group in a shell, or that composition we can call this as a shell model. Okay, we'll see the assumptions. So first assumption is nucleons move in a nucleus independently in an average potential. So in a nucleus, so one atom is there, atom, center core, proton and neutron. So this is our nucleus. Okay, consider this is our nucleus. So in a nucleus, nucleons means a proton and a neutron that can be want to move independently in a average potential. This is the first assumption of a water shell model. Okay, we'll move for a second assumption. The pair of a nucleus have a zero spin. Here whatever the pair of a nucleus is there, that is a zero spin and a zero magnetic moment. So if we take the pair of a means 2 nucleus, their spin is a 0 as well as the magnetic moment is also 0. That is the second assumption. So third assumption is here, the paired nucleons from the inert core do not contribute to the properties of the nucleus. Whatever the paired nucleons from the inert core is there, that do not contribute to what properties of the nucleus. Okay, that is the third assumption. We'll move for the fourth. The nucleons are characterized by the unpaired nucleon. Okay, here the nucleon are characterized by the what? Unpaired nucleon. And the last assumption is the average potential field. Here one average potential field is there, that can be wanted determined by all the nucleons except one nucleon, which determines the quantum state of the individual nucleons. So here we are taking the what average potential field. In that what happened by the all nucleons except one nucleus. So some nucleons are there, in that one nucleus we are expecting. That can be what determine the quantum state of individual nucleons. Okay. So in today's video already we explain the nuclear fission on the basis of the liquid drop model, as well as the merit of the two merits of the liquid drop model. Next shell model, in that the magic number as well as the assumption of shell models. Okay. In a next video we'll continue this, means the GM counter, scintillation counter, accelerator and the cyclotron. The four concepts are there. So in a next video we will continue that concept. Okay, we'll end this video. Hope all of you understood. Thank you.